All right, we should be live on YouTube. Yeah. Yeah. All right. We are finally live on YouTube. How's everyone doing today? How is everybody doing? I hope you are all having a wonderful day. I'm grabbing life by the horns and taking it one day at a time. Because in life, you know, you're going to encounter many challenges. You're going to be dealing with, many things that probably don't even make sense, right? You're going to be dealing with people that are incredibly selfish and inconsiderate of other people's feelings, wants, and needs, right? And when you first start to realize in your younger days that people are this way, a lot of people are this way, it really hurts because most decent people are raised to think that all humans are good people and all humans have the best intentions for everyone, not just themselves. But in this crazy modern world we all live in, it just seems like it's everyone for themselves. And sometimes, when it even comes to family, sometimes your own family, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong going on in my family right now. This is just an example. I got to be real clear because a lot of people take me very literal here, right? I am very transparent, but sometimes I share examples that don't directly affect me or aren't currently affecting me, or it's affected me in the past, but not currently. So don't take me out of context. But sometimes even your own family can do things to other family members that you would never think could be possible for a family member to do. Family members hurting other family members. Now, before I get into the topic today, in this modern world, it seems like, we all have to be so much stronger. We have to have a lot more strength nowadays to navigate this modern world that we all live in. And not just for men, but for women too, both men and women. Even women nowadays are being forced to be even stronger at the level of strength that men have always had, typically, right? No disrespect, I'm just saying women are being forced to shut off their emotions and become stronger emotionally to be able to work in the workforce. And just because that's the way the modern world seems to be going. Hey, AZ Prod, how are you doing? And the YouTube chat is back to being like transparent. There was a YouTube app update, but I don't think it fixed the issue that was there months ago. And then it came back after the last iOS update, which was a couple days ago. So, even women are being forced to be emotionally stronger and basically contain their emotions that they would otherwise be able to release so they can function properly. I'm going to share more about that as the stream goes on. But first, a couple updates here. So I didn't do a show yesterday. Like I've been mentioning, Dawn's been a little under the weather. She hasn't been feeling too well, and I've been. It looks like this is working properly in a transparent format. Hey, Cynthia, I didn't see you there. Hey, welcome. I like the black background better, but it looks like the chat is transparent on the screen for channel owners that are running mobile live streams. Anyway, at least it's not scrunched up so I can see it. But yeah, Dawn hasn't been feeling too well. She does not have COVID. She's had some nausea, some pretty bad nausea. And she's got the common cold. I had it like the past couple of weeks previously. I had it, and I think I gave it to her. So blame me. It's my fault. I'll own that. So I've been taking care of Dawn, and that's why we haven't been able to do any members only live streams. Please forgive us. We will get to the members only live streams again as soon as possible. I'm hoping that Dawn feels better enough over the next few days to do one by the end of the week. But definitely by next week they should be back. She should be feeling a lot better. She's feeling better than she was a few days ago, but she's it takes time. The flu hits you at a high point, and then it starts to go the other way slowly, and it's starting to come back down. But she's still not feeling well enough to focus on the show, but she's doing okay. And she wanted me to say hello to everyone, so nobody worries. Dawn's doing fantastic. I'm only going to do a couple of laps tonight because I do want to get back to taking care of Dawn, and I got some other family things to take care of. There's been a lot going on lately. And it's just, it's a one thing after the other. But yeah, thank you to the 21 people that are here. We have one thumb up. Please smash the thumbs up. Please share this out. If you notice, my regular thumbnail is not on this stream. I screwed up when preparing this stream because there's been a lot going on. I set the stream on my laptop. Instead of a mobile stream, I selected streaming software from the studio. And I had to reset up the stream from my iPhone. And it's much harder to set it up from your iPhone when you want to use special features like turning on members only live chat, disabling the rewind while you're live, the DVR function, adding a 15-second chat delay, and other stuff. You can't do it directly from the mobile app. You got to do it from the desktop version. You can access the desktop version of YouTube from your phone, but it's even though these phones have gotten bigger, it's still not easy. So I got here to the park ready to rock and roll, and it took me like 10 or 15 minutes to redo everything. So I'll change the thumbnail to the actual thumbnail when I get back home, later this evening. But yeah, I believe this is episode number 641. Episode number 641 of Walking with Purpose Live. Let me wait. Let me come across this way because there's a woman walking in my path. And I don't want to freak her out. Oh man, I'm stepping in some really, really deep mud here. Oh shit. Man, the rain really saturated the ground. Oh God. Take a look at this. I just walked through this. Now that woman is walking the other way. So, navigating this modern world has become very challenging for both men and women. Let me see. Give me a few here. We got a bunch of people walking around, so I want to be respectful. Okay. I'm going to turn around and come back and go the way I was going to go. It seems like I was mentioning a bit ago, that you have to have a lot of strength in this modern world to be able to navigate the storms and survive. It seems like it's everybody for themselves. And, I don't really know what created that environment. It just seems to be that way. I don't know if the women's movement or feminism partially is to blame for that, or the modern digital world partially is to blame for that, or a combined aspect of both. But it just seems like nowadays, we're living in a world of where every person has to be super strong. No one is allowed to cry. Not even women. Women aren't even allowed to cry anymore, right? Which I think is BS, because women are most feminine when they're in an emotional state. And when women are not in an emotional state, a beautiful emotional state such as crying and feeling sorrow and stuff like that, they're like in a false emotional state of feeling the need to be strong, right? When you see women get angry and bitter nowadays, or they become very demanding and stuff, that's out of their natural biological essence. As part of women getting equal rights, women, in order for them to qualify to be able to do the same jobs that once only men were able to do, they are forced out of their natural biological essence. Like if they're in a corporate management position, they have to fire people on top of hiring people. Hiring is easy, right? Firing is not easy for men or women, but it's a lot easier for men because men can turn their emotions off, or at least, subside them until later, right? But women are at a natural biological level, are in a constant loop of emotion all day, every day. They're feeling everything that's happening in the present moment all day, every day. And when you artificially try to change women from what they were meant to be by a higher power, I believe to be God, it just creates a lot of issues. And the women that pay for these issues are the women that still want to behave more feminine than masculine, right? And here's the thing. I'll tell you this. I'm not saying I don't respect the working woman. I do. It's all good. If you want to be a working woman and exude more masculine energy than feminine energy, that's on you. You're probably not going to attract the right man that you want. You'll attract beta males that'll put up with that, but a good, strong, confident, well-balanced alpha male is not going to put up with a woman that's exuding more masculine energy than feminine energy, right? While I do respect the working woman, if that's what you choose to do, all good, but I more so respect women that just want to be homemakers or housewives. I'm not saying they have to just be that. Women can also be a homemaker and run an internet business at home, right? What I'm saying is there are still some women out there that want to be a homemaker and raise a family and just be a good housewife, right? That is complete feminine energy. That's why I respect that more than the working woman in the corporate world. I'm not saying I don't respect that woman in the corporate world, right? Because the problem is this. There are a lot of women in this modern world that are flexing their muscles, right? And they're they're exuding more masculine energy than feminine energy. They're being very dominant, and they're not being nurturing in the ways that they are biologically made to be. And what's happening is women that still want to be more feminine are wondering what is going on, and they're saying, wow, do we have to be like this in order to survive in this modern world? Can we not just be feminine women anymore? Do we have to exude more masculine energy to survive? And the answer to that question is no, you don't have to do anything you don't want to do. Again, if you want to be a working woman and work in jobs that were once only known as jobs that men would do that require you to exude more masculine energy than feminine energy as a woman, more power to you. You go, girl, and do what you got to do. But those types of women, when I encountered them in the dating world, when I was single before I met Dawn, and in between previous relationships, I would shit test them to see if they were like that. And if I picked up that they were like that, I wouldn't give them the time of day. I don't want to be with a woman like that. It's my choice, the type of woman I want to be with. And I prefer to be with a woman that has more feminine energy than masculine energy. I want to be with a woman that can either equally balance her work and her personal life, or, just want to have a personal life and be a homemaker. What I don't respect are women that are more career focused than personal life or family focused. It's not healthy. And the same thing for men. It's the same thing for men. There are men out there that are more career focused than family focused or personal life focused. Let me go over this way. And that's just as wrong. That's just as wrong. As women overdoing it with work. But why is it different with women? It's different with women because women being liberated is still a fairly new thing. Women have been liberated for just over 55 years, right? With the third wave of the women's movement, right? Well, actually the second wave. And then the third wave, it was in the 90s. In the 90s is when things really started to change, right? With the millennial generation, now the Gen Zers, right? So, for the last 30 years, it started 55 years ago, but it's become more apparent the last 20 to 30 years, right? You are seeing a shift of a different type of woman unlike anything you've seen. And as much as this is great for women getting ahead, having more opportunities, making more money, women in the modern world are more fucking miserable than they've ever been in any other era. No doubt about it. Correct me if I'm wrong. AZ Prod, if you're around, I'm sure you agree. Cynthia, or anyone else, Donna, or whoever else is here. Women are more miserable, even though women are making more money. They have more opportunities than they've ever had. They're independent. They don't need a man for anything, per se. But at the same time, they are more miserable than any other era in time. And why is that? Because What is the purpose of life? It's to share it with someone. It's to cohabitate and procreate, right? To fall in love with someone, live with someone, start a family with someone, and live happily ever after. That's the purpose of life, right? And that's how it used to be. Before women were liberated, the man would go out and hunt and bring home the bacon, and the wife would cook it, would keep the house clean, take care of the kids, while the man was out doing the other stuff. And they were a great team, and there were no issues. And the divorce rate was far less. The divorce rate was 10 to 20% back then. Now the divorce rate is 3 times greater, at 50 to 60%. More than one out of every 2 marriages will fail in this modern world. Look at the raw data. Look at the statistics. My mother was a divorce clerk for the county of San Mateo here where we live for 25 years before she retired, about 5-6 years ago or 7 years ago or so. And anytime I would run into my mother back then, it would be like, you want to know who got divorced today? You want to know who got divorced today? I'm like, no, I really would rather not. Well, I'm going to tell you anyway. It's public record, so you can talk about it, right? It was one of the fascinating things having a mother who was a government employee for 25 years and a government employee working the family law department at the San Mateo County building in Redwood City. So if you had to file for divorce, you had to go see my mom. Oh, God. My mom was happily married until my father passed away about 14 years ago. My mom still hasn't remarried, won't remarry, hasn't been on a date, won't date. Mad respect. You want to talk about a good woman, respectful woman? God bless her. God bless my mother, right? I'll tell you what I respect about my mother. My mother had to toughen up a bit when she started working. My mother didn't start work. She was a homemaker until I was 16 years old, and my brother was 14 and a half, almost 15. My brother and I are 15 months apart. My brother Chris and I are 15 months apart. And my mother was always a sweet, nurturing, mother that taught us to be sweet and sensitive and be kind to people, and she was very empathetic and sympathetic and all that, right? And then she started working, and that started to change. And she had to toughen up. She was forced to toughen up. But what I will tell you is this. My mother was and still is one of the most well-balanced women on the planet. Before we go any further, wow, the dude changed. Look at that. Faithful. All right, it's blowing up so I can't read it. Hold on a second. Look at that. That is so cool. The SF. This is awesome, man. Rally bat. Whoa. I don't even know what that means. Oh, Rally Saturday. Oh, Rally Saturday. Oh, shit. There's going to be a 49er rally right outside the dude's house for the park on Saturday. This coming weekend is the championship series. Wow, maybe I'll do a stream around that time. I got to figure out when it is. But anyway, getting back to my mother. Thank you so much to the 25 people that are here. My mother was always a strong woman, but she was always more feminine than masculine. Now, she had to turn on a little masculinity to work at the county clerk's office, right? Because if not, then people could step all over her. But my mother is one of the most well-balanced women on the planet, like I mentioned a second ago. She's always had sympathy and empathy for people. Now, if you try to bullshit my mother, she'll call you out more so than she did when she was younger, right? But my mother's empathy and compassion and kindness and care and consideration for other people has never changed. You know, working in this modern world as a woman in jobs that require women to exude more masculine energy than feminine energy didn't change my mother at a core. She went to work, she did her job. She worked 25 years and, you know, was helping my father before he passed away. When my father was real sick, my mother's insurance benefits, you know, when you're married, you get to share the same plan. And when you work for the government, you have the best insurance. You have the best everything. The best pension, the best insurance. My dad took care of us all these years, and then my mother really stepped up at a time when my dad really needed her. And my dad didn't even want her help. And my mom said, no, I'm going to take care of you and the family because you've taken care of us. We wouldn't be here without you. Wow, what mad respect. My mother is the perfect example of how every fucking woman should be today. No disrespect. I'm not trying to be mean to any other woman out there. And as I've always said in the past, I'm going to do one more lap, folks. I'm on lap 2. Give me a second here. There's a car that just pulled up here. Let me pass on by. Give me just a second. As I've always said in the past, a little boy growing up looks up to his mother as the role model or example of the type of woman he's going to be attracted to. A little girl looks up to her father growing up as the type of man she's going to be attracted to. So, in essence, the reason why Dawn and I work out is because I'm a lot like her father and she's a lot like my mother. Now, don't get me wrong, they're not exactly alike. My mother hasn't had the health issues Dawn has had. And that I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about from an emotional standpoint, from a loving, nurturing, kind, caring, and considerate standpoint. Right? From an empathetic standpoint, my mom and Dawn are exactly alike. Again, don't get me wrong, they're two different people. And they've both been through different things and have had different lifestyles. But at a core, when you look at someone's personality, when you look at where somebody's heart and soul is, my mom's heart and soul and Dawn's heart and soul are in exact alignment. That's why I'm with Dawn. No matter what happens, no matter, what health issues she encounters, no matter what happens to her, I love her because of who she is at a core. And that's what makes things work. Sure, she's beautiful to me and she's a beautiful woman. But that alone, is not going to sustain a relationship. And Dawn, even though she's had her feisty moments, And she's called me out in the past live on the air, and she's called me on the real world. She's way more feminine than masculine. The reason why she's called me out and called other people out is because Dawn has struggled with feeling like she has to be completely independent and not depend on anyone for survival in this modern world, because that's what the stigma of other women have led her to believe. So because many other women want to behave more masculine than feminine and focus more on their careers than their families, right? Or not balance it out. And Dawn just wants to be a normal, natural, feminine woman. She struggles with, am I doing the right thing? I thought this is what men wanted. I thought this is what people want. I'm a feminine woman. No, baby, I love you. You're normal. See, baby, the problem why you think you're abnormal is because there's so much abnormality on the other side going on that it's led women to believe that that's how you have to be, when that's not how you have to be or should be, in my opinion. And I say all of this respectfully. I say this respectfully to all women out there. I wish no harm upon anyone. I wish nothing but the best for everyone. But the reason why so many women are fucking miserable nowadays is because of what they feel the stigma is expecting them to be. Now, do you want to be, whether you're a man or a woman, do you want to be whatever any stigma regarding your gender states you should be? Or do you want to be who you are? Do you want to create your own unique greatness that defines who you are as an individual? Right? You know, sometimes I feel like I'm preaching to the choir, right? Sometimes I feel like I'm preaching to the air. What I'm saying here, folks, is crucial. It's important and needs to be addressed, and needs to be addressed at a mass level. We need to do a better job of helping both men and women better understand how to navigate this crazy modern world we all live in. That's why I named my show Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli years ago. It's been Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli for at least 4.5 to 5 years. It wasn't that title initially when I started the first channel. That's no longer around, over 6 years ago. But when I came back with the main channel, it's been Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli. And now with Coach Eli and Dawn. Because that's what we're truly doing nowadays. We are navigating a world unlike anything we've seen or thought we would ever see. A world that's now being more controlled by AI, artificial intelligence, by computers, by zeros and one, known as binary code. The digital, what makes things digital is binary code, zeros and ones. We are being controlled by zeros and ones. Can you fucking believe that? What you see on your screen right now is myself, and all I am is a bunch of zeros and ones. Now, those zeros and ones depict certain pixels on your screen to show color and to show me exactly as I am. Digital video is just a bunch of zeros and ones. It's a whole shit ton of zeros and ones. But that's what it is. Right? I'm here to come in and say, hey, while the digital world being here is a great addition to helping us navigate this modern world in certain areas, we can't let it fully control who we really are in the real world. We can't fully 100% depend on the digital world. The digital world's great to pay bills online, auto pay, download PDF e-statements so you don't have to get it in the mail, save paper. It's great. That is all good. Online bill pay is the greatest thing. I used to write checks in my younger days. Yes, I still have a checking account. Most of us do. We used to have to write checks and mail our bills in a week in advance before the due date to make sure they get there on time so we don't get a late fee. Now, you can either have auto pay on your bills, credit cards or other bills, or you can go in there and manually pay it the same day it's due, as long as you pay it before the time that company closes in their time zone. No check, no having to put a stamp on it, no having to mail it out, no chance of it getting lost in the mail. A few clicks after you set up your account. You guys gotta attach your checking account to the bill pay of that provider, and boom, that's it. AZ Prod, here we are. It's scrunchy, but I'm gonna have to read it a different way. Let me see. Oh man, come on. Come on. What the hell? I can't even touch this thing to... You are on fire tonight, and I can't read the rest. AZ Prod, can you type? How come I can't even access anything here? Hang on a second, I'll be right back. Come on. Jesus Christ. Hold on a second, folks, I'll be right back. Yeah, there's hang on a second. You're on fire tonight, my friend. I don't know why, I can't. Oh, it's one of those days. I've got 34 people here. You're on fire tonight, my friend. Everything is on point. We really need to figure out how to get men to be men and women to be women again. Okay, I finally was able to read that. Yeah, I mean, there's an issue once again with the YouTube app, and I hope YouTube can fix it. I think iOS 17.3 broke it. I'll do the best to read the scrunched up chat, but yeah, you're right. You know, I don't think. Here's the thing, AZ Prod. I don't think the problem is, you know, men need to be men or women need to be women. I mean, yes, that does make sense. I think where more of the problem is you have more than half the women out there flexing their muscles and behaving more masculine than feminine. And they're even attacking women that are behaving like normal, sweet, feminine women. Like, my problem is these stronger women per se, let's just say that, these stronger women per se that want to behave more masculine are attacking women that want to behave more feminine, which is a woman's natural biological essence, right? And then it makes those women that are truly feminine feel like they're super weak and not good enough as those women. No, the truth of the matter is it's the complete opposite. This is what I've been trying to get through to Dawn. Dawn struggles with this because she's a good woman. Dawn wants to be feminine, she is. But Dawn is fighting with the masculine woman. She constantly battles, is she being the best woman she can be? And I tell her, yes. If you weren't, I wouldn't be with you. I'm with you, Dawn, because you're feminine and not masculine. And again, I don't want to say too much. I'm just saying this in general, not trying to be mean. I love Dawn's family and all. But a lot of the women in Dawn's family behave more masculine than feminine. No disrespect intended. So you can only imagine how that's going to make a woman that's naturally and biologically feminine feel when there are family members that are acting more masculine as a female than feminine. You know what the funny thing is? I want it to be equal between men and women. I'm not about competing, and I don't want to be better than women or them be better than us men. We should all be just equal and well balanced, and focus on what each of our genders are strong at, and the things that I'm not strong at, Dawn is stronger at, she'll help me with, and the things that she's not as strong at, that I'm stronger at, I can help her with, right? All right, we are back live. We are back live. Oh man, I thought. Can you guys hear me? Okay, am I coming through? Okay, AC Prod. Cynthia says exactly, Eli. Folks, hear me? Okay, I gotta tell you, Dawn called me, and I took her call real quick. Hold on a second. You're good now. Okay. Give me a second. I'll be right back. All right. We're back live. We are back live. Yeah, Dawn called me, and I took her call because she can bypass my Do Not Disturb because she's not feeling too well. And so she just needed to hear my voice off the air for a second. Okay. Anyway, and it shut down my YouTube app, and I'm like, shit, I think my stream is done. Because you used to be able to resume. You could relaunch the app, and then go back to the streaming part, and then it'll give you an option to resume. Well, it gave me the option to resume. It said, stream interrupted. Resume or quit. Thank you. You fixed that part, team. YouTube, thank you. Now just fix the chat again so it's not scrunched up. AZ Prod, you're good now? Yeah, I think I already read that. All right. Folks, if Dawn calls me back, I got another 10 more minutes left on this. If Dawn calls me back, and this thing gets shut down and I'm not able to come back, this will automatically shut down like 20 or 30 minutes later. If you don't hear me come back, if I go off all of a sudden, just forewarning you, if I'm not able to hit resume. But I don't think she's going to call me back because I told her I'll be done in like 10 minutes. And I'm only doing 2 laps instead of 3. But anyway, I'm really glad you're enjoying this topic tonight, AZ Prod and Cynthia, because look, there's no need for men and women to fight. There's no need for men to fight women. There's no need for women to fight men. More so, you know what you're seeing nowadays? This is the strangest shit nowadays. You're seeing men fight other men on stupid things like, oh, my pee-pee's bigger than yours. My wallet is fatter than yours. My girlfriend looks better than yours. My God. And then you're seeing women fight. Now, the only time women used to kind of fight and compete back in the days of traditionalism is when they were seeking out the strongest man that was sought out so they can survive. But besides that, women would never fight like they fight nowadays. Like I've just never seen so many heterosexual same-sex fights nowadays that are just stupid. What is the point? Now, I can understand couples having disagreements, right? But, and I can even understand couples fighting. I'm not about that. I've never fought a woman. Now, I've had disagreements, and every now and then, you know, you may end up raising your voice, and then even if I do that, like, I immediately tone it down because, like, the last thing as a man that you want to do when you're talking with your lady during a disagreement is lose your shit. Right? Even if you're a calm guy, you're not a violent guy, I'm not a violent guy, the last thing you want to do is lose your shit, even if you are not a violent guy, because if you raise your voice, your woman could be scared by that, especially if she's been in past abusive relationships and is suffering from that type of trauma, right? So, as a man, you've got to take all that into consideration, right? You got to understand where women are coming from. Also, women need to understand where men are coming from. So, men need to understand where women are coming from, and women need to understand where men are coming from. And cut the fighting out. It's stupid, right? But again, the main purpose today was to discuss how it's practically 100% necessary to be stronger in this modern world, both men and women, or it's going to be harder to survive. And again, I am standing up here for women that want to actually be feminine women and saying that you don't have to be anyone you don't want to be. You don't have to work jobs that your friends or family members are working as women that require them to exude more masculine energy. You don't have to work jobs like that to prove that you're just as good as them, because you're already better than them, in my opinion, because you're being more of your natural self. Now, again, I'm not criticizing women that want to work those jobs again and want to exude more masculine energy. They can do whatever they want to do, but it's going to come at the expense of their personal life and their relationships, where they're not going to attract the men that they want. Because again, like I've been saying, real strong men are not going to want to be with women that are acting like men, right? Like Coach Corey Wayne used to say, that's like having two chiefs and no Indians, right? There's one chief, right? Now, it's a figure of speech because I like to look at my woman as my equal, right? But you have to understand, any which way you look at it at a natural and biological level, men were naturally made to be a little more dominant, and women were made to naturally be a little more submissive. And in this modern world, when you have women that are behaving primarily more dominant and submissive, not only at work but in their relationships, a dominant man like me is going to be like, I'm not turned on by this. I don't care how hot you are. I don't care how sexy you are, right? Like, you could throw the hottest woman in front of my face. You can throw the hottest 20-year-old in front of my face if I was a single man, and she could tell me that she wants me. But if she exuded more masculine energy than feminine energy, I would say, I'm sorry, I'm not interested. Well, you don't think I'm hot? Well, yeah, you're hot, but so what? How many other hot women are there out there? And how many of those other hot women out there are actually behaving more feminine and not masculine like you? See, that's what I would say. And she would be like, oh my God, I'm used to getting any guy I can get. Now I got this one dude who's good looking and has balls, calls me out. And guess what happens? When you're the one dude that calls that woman out, she wants you more than the rest. You know why? Because she can't break you. Women love men they can't break. Women try to break you on purpose to test you. They don't want to do it. Women don't want to break you. But they try to break you on purpose to test your strength. And if you fail miserably, you'd be lucky if you're even in the friend zone. You'll be friend zone at best. But you call them out. And you deny them. Even if they, want to be with you. And you deny them because they're just not behaving feminine enough. Guess what happens? Then it forces them to be like, what do I have to do to get this guy? Well, you got to act like a woman. You got to act more feminine. You got to turn off that masculinity because I'm a man. I'm masculine, not you. We really need to focus a lot more on this sexual polarity thing between heterosexual men and women, masculine and feminine energy. And the same thing holds true for gay and lesbian relationships. There's always one that's more on the dominant side and one that's more on the submissive side. Because if you don't have one dominant and one submissive, more so, the polarity just won't work. It just won't work. Again, you can't have two chiefs. The chief is the dominant one. The Indian is the submissive one. That's a figure of speech. I'm not saying anything negative about Indians. It's just it's a figure of speech. Okay? Anyway, I got to get going. I'm going to go take care of my lady. If I have the energy, I may end up doing a stream on the main channel. I'm going to be doing some streams from the studio on the main channel for a little while. I'll still be doing the walks here on Coach Eli too. I got to get some more content on the main channel because of many changes that I've been dealing with personally with family and Dawn and other things. They're not bad things. It's just a whole lot of things. I got to get some more content on that channel because it's monetized and I don't want to lose the status. But hang on. Let me see. Egos are getting bigger. Yeah, are you talking about? Are you talking about? Give me a second. Are you talking about the female egos are getting bigger? Yeah, yeah, they are. Great stream, brother. Have a good night. Well, thank you. I hope YouTube fixes this again soon. It's scrunchy on the screen. I love all of you. And again, I may be doing a stream tonight from Coach Eli, Elias, Melas, the main channel. If I do one there, I'm going to be starting them sometime this week and doing my in-studio streams on the main channel for a little while. Because again, I got to get some content on there, and that's the easiest way to do it. I really want to get some more pre-recorded stuff, but you know, I got to do what I got to do in the meantime. So make sure you subscribe there. Links in the description. Coach Eli, Elias Melas, youtube.com/Life Coach Eli. The channel has like 7,200 subscribers. I can't believe the sub count on Coach Eli too passed the sub count on the main channel. It's because I focused a lot more time on this channel over the last couple of years since I've been with Don. You got to thank Don for growing this channel. This is all Don here. Like, I love Don. Don't get me wrong, I've done my part. But Dawn and who she is and her content and her raw and realness is what got this channel monetized and has put it on the map. And I'm grateful and thankful for that. Couldn't do it without her. And Coach Eli, Elias Melas, yeah, that was pretty much me. But Coach Eli too, I got to give that to Dawn. That's more Dawn than me. You know, and I'm looking forward to the next show that Dawn and I are able to do. So, look at if I do go live there tonight or whenever I go live, I'll promote it on the community wall here. You do not need to have a membership there. I don't know if I'm going to make them subscriber-only streams over there or if I'm going to do approved users, meaning that I have to add you manually if you want to chat there. So do not purchase any memberships for the time being on Coach Eli, Elias Melas. They will not be necessary. I'm not going to do that to the great people here. You know, I'm not going to try to double dip you folks. Oh, let's start going to the main channel and get them to sign up for a second membership and get twice the money. No, I'm not going to sit there and do that to you folks. But I also want to keep the trolls out. And that's why there's an option to add approved users. And I believe moderators can always chat in an approved user chat, but I can add anyone that's not a mod as an approved user, and they'll be able to chat. So that way it will be approved users and moderators. So with that being said, have a good one. Take care. And as always, be good to each other.